Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm Eric and today we are watching episode 6 of season 1 of Wheel of Time. So, a couple of things, let's see. Thank you for all the lovely comments. Very much appreciate it. I especially appreciate it for this show because I'm getting a lot of perspectives that I hadn't thought of, and the stuff that I'm critical of, the comments help with giving me other explanations for it. Because unlike all the other stuff I've watched on my channel, like this one, I have preconceived notions about, because I've read the books, So with everything else, I don't really have that problem with Supernatural or with The Last Airbender or Legend of Korra or the movies I've done. I don't really have that issue because it's new to me. But this is not, the TV show itself is new to me, but the story that they're working with is not. So the stuff that I have issue with, it's really nice to have comments that help me see things in a different light and so on. One that was really, really helpful, the reason I'm bringing this up, is Loyal. That was really helpful. I mentioned the Loyal I know is a bit more alien. It's a bit more monstrous. It's a bit stranger with the huge eyes and the tufted ears and the long eyebrows and very expressive eyebrows and that's a big part of who Loyal is. But for the TV show, I noticed in the comments that apparently they wanted to use Loyal quite a bit, which is appropriate because he should be used quite a bit, but they didn't want to use any CGI. They wanted to do it all with practical effects. And if you do that, then it's going to be really hard to get some of the stuff that is characteristic for Ogier. With that in mind, it's so much easier to get on board with this Loyal. With that in mind, you can't have big, saucer-sized eyes. Because how are you going to work that without any CGI? How are you going to do that with just practical effects and have it look reasonable? That's not possible. So yeah, that addressed quite a big thing for me. And I really appreciate that. Another one though, I don't know. I mean, the thing with the tower being so empty. I know that the White Tower is fairly empty. They have nowhere near the numbers that they used to. They are declining as an organization. I know that. But at the same time, I mean, there has to be the only ones we saw, the only Aes Sedai we saw were the ones who came there with us, Liandrin, Alana, Moiraine. Those were the only ones. There are others, but at the same time, we're obviously not going to stay here at the tower for any period of time, any extended period of time. We're going to move on. So, why? Maybe you don't want to introduce too many extras, introduce too many new characters, and then just nice meeting you. We'll see you in 5 seasons or something. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it is a very different experience. They must consider things that you don't consider in the books in the same way. Maybe the previous episode was to introduce the tower, and the Aes Sedai of the tower is for a second episode or for another episode for some other time. So last time, things are looking up a bit for us. Nynaeve and Rand and Matt met up, at least, so we have that. Perrin and Egwene are on the loose at the moment. I'm really, really hoping that they're gonna get to meet up in this episode and get into Tar Valon and so on. Because this is, after this, there's only 2 more episodes in this season. And I know what happens in the book, in the first book, how that ends, kind of. But I don't know if, will this end in the same way, is my question. I don't know that yet. I don't know where it's going to go. If we're going to get to where we need to go, then we have a lot of work to do. There's a lot of story to get through. So yeah, let's find out what happens in this next episode. Ooh, that is really pretty. Is this a flashback?
Up you get, Swan.
Oh, a swan. Down in tear.
Best we catch him then.
Before some other bastard does.
Yes, you better hurry. So it's time to introduce the Amyrlin. Oh, one-handed. Yes, help the old man. Well, you can help him with your hands. You don't need to channel.
Outside the village, that's the rule.
But Papa,
A wise woman knows the breaking point of her line. Don't push yours.
Yeah, what now? Oh, yeah. I saw it's the dragon's fang. People are so small-minded. She's probably the talk of the town, the village, like her unnatural ways. So they burnt their house down because of prejudice.
Don't you worry yourself about me.
when can I come home?
You can't, I'm afraid.
Come with me, Papa.
I no more do that than a fish could touch the moon.
Oh, I remember all her fishing proverbs. It's always so fun. Which, of course, is just a tactic. Because if you're the most powerful person in the world, you want to make yourself look like approachable and down to earth.
Clever as a pike.
Mm-hmm.
Strong as the tides.
Makes me think of Mulan. And the I'll make a man out of you song. So this is what Tyr looks like. I like it. There you go. Now she's wearing it. The jewel. I really like that outfit on Moiraine. I imagined the hall to be much larger. Here's the Aes Sedai I wanted. Ah, the sitters. Should we talk about the Aja?
Why is this man chained? Gentle as he is, he poses no threat.
No, he's mostly a threat to himself.
Do you know what they say about you? Aes Sedai, the further you get from this tower.
Not many good things, because they meddle, they interfere.
Weaker than you have ever been.
Yeah, that's that too.
And that I still staked that green bitch to the wall.
Dude, you're being a bit too forceful.
The release of death you seek, you won't find it here. No matter what foulness you spill.
Yeah, that might have been it, yeah.
You will live out your days, watched and studied, never free.
Yeah, like a science experiment.
Kill me. Please kill me.
No, we're not gonna do that.
Approach.
Time to deliver judgment. Oh, right, the Greens are missing the one in the middle. Because the leader of the Green was Kyrene, and she died.
Shield first, gentle second, kill, last of all.
But you didn't see what he did to her.
Oh, Liandrin. You could say that you did that. Like, she tried shielding, and then it didn't work anymore.
If we hadn't tamed him, Mother, all of our sisters would have been killed, not just Kyrene.
I will think on your penance. You have something more to say, daughter?
Yeah, out with it.
And yet Moiraine said nothing of the girl's skills. We knew nothing.
No one did.
But you must have known she was more than a simple village girl. You must have known she was something special. I suspected.
Yeah, suspected that she was Taveran.
Her purpose, the purpose of all blues, is to gather secrets and discover danger before it strikes at the heart of us, before it strikes at you, Mother.
No, that's not what blues do.
Suggesting the Amyrlin does not wish to question Moiraine because Mother was once blue herself.
That's taking it too far. The Amyrlin of all is all 7 Ajahs.
What is the purpose of your travels?
She's not gonna say.
Or will not?
Pick one, it doesn't matter.
I will ask you one more time. What is the purpose of your travels? I cannot say. I am the Amyrlin seat. This is my tower.
Yeah, we know.
My world.
No, I mean, you're not an emperor. That's a quality genuflection.
Depart now in the light.
I think Liandrin was happy with that turn of events. At least I'm not the only one who's going to get punished. And this is more like it.
What? Oh. Did you expect me to thank you for saying what you did?
I don't know, man. I have an unreasonable dislike for the Red Ajah in general. It's chicken on Rand. Right? No, maybe not. I'm kind of right, because I mean they're right across the way, so that we are here to check in on them.
How bad is he?
Worse than expected.
And that dress is awesome.
Do not come up, no matter what you hear.
Oh boy, here we go. Let's see how far gone he is.
You're alive. Oh, it's nice to see you too.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's just a fever.
I know.
It's just... Oh, since Chada Logoth.
Like me.
Oh, for goodness sakes, dude, it's not that.
I'm going to let you hurt him!
That down.
Yes, before I hurt you.
What's happening to him?
Oh, you stupid boy. You took this from Shada Lagoth.
Guilty as charged. You're gonna take the curse yourself? How's that gonna work? Oh, she's probably just doing this as a temporary fix. Ah, silly sheep herder. Or is that going to be it? Is that the whole thing?
I saw the darkness moving over you. You took on that evil. For man.
I would do it for any of you.
Okay.
It's just the darkness from the Shadow City all along.
I don't know. He's stronger than he has any right to be. If he touches it again, he may be lost forever. If wisdom is the title you claim.
Yeah, exactly. Show some of it. That's a quality burn. Is this a steam room? Because, I mean, yeah, it must be a steam room. Like a sauna. Because they're not really in any water. So...
Aiel have been spotted this side of the spine. Trollocs invaded the two rivers.
yeah,
And Aes Sedai sank the Tavern Ferry.
a lot of stuff's going down. Things is spiraling out of control.
How exactly did the Trollocs reach the two rivers undetected?
I don't know.
I do. But I'm guessing we're going to find out fairly soon. In case things are... What's going to happen is going to happen. What I think is going to happen.
We need you here in the tower permanently.
No.
You've travelled long enough. Time to settle down, Moiraine.
We're not going to have any of that.
More secrets?
Secrets on secrets.
I sent a message as soon as I saw them.
Oh, her spy network. This must be Egwene and Perrin. Yes, it is.
Moiraine. Rand and Matt, are they
I
here?
have people watching for their arrival.
Oh, you liar! Bringing Aes Sedai in the way they twist the truth. Moiraine is really good at this as well. Yeah, that was well done, Egwene.
Valda won't hurt any more of your sisters.
Sure he will. It's not like you killed him.
His eyes. When Valda was torturing him, they went golden.
Yes, they did.
Did anything else unusual happen?
Yeah, tons of wolves showed up. Wolves.
There are many in the city, Aes Sedai included, who would do him harm if they knew.
Is he the dragon?
No.
There's much we don't know about the Dragon Reborn.
That's true, I guess, but I mean, wolves, that doesn't sound like a thing. Like if he were to be a channeler as well as have a connection to wolves,
You masked our bond.
I thought you'd welcome the break.
This place isn't as safe as it once was.
She just didn't want you to know where she went.
Our enemies are everywhere. Your priority has to be protecting our friends from the Two Rivers. Good night, Lan.
You're dismissed.
I'll stand watch until you return. Give her my love.
He knows what's about to happen, because it looks like she's preparing for bed, but it seems like she's going somewhere. Hey there.
What were you thinking?
She looks very different without her fancy makeup.
Skin me a storm if you don't take idiotic risks. So much for the Amyrlin seat, remaining neutral without favourites.
Yeah, it's hard.
No love of one's own. Nothing but the seat.
Yeah, duty.
When have we ever followed the rules?
Someone said that duty is heavier than a mountain, and death is lighter than a feather. Didn't see that coming, that's for sure.
You've been gone such a long time.
On your knees.
Being a little domineering, are we, huh?
What's wrong?
Moiraine always seemed so
Dragon.
asexual, you know? It was all about her mission. She didn't have time for anything else.
But how can we discount her power?
No, but she's too old.
Our prophecies are clear.
Yeah.
3,000-year-old
Just listen to the
prophecies.
Carathian
Been
cycle.
translated again and again by hundreds of different Aes Sedai.
Yeah, I mean, you do have a point there.
What if Katara's vision was wrong?
You were there.
Been searching for the Dragon Reborn for 20 years. I know less now than I did then.
That's just exhaustion talking.
What if we brought the other sisters in?
No, you can't tell anyone.
Well, say something.
Will? When your spikes retract? You little pufferfish.
Oh, this is really humanizing, Moiraine.
The heart of every prophecy is the same. The dragon will either defeat the Dark One or join him. The last few weeks, every night I see the same thing. The Dark One.
Was she a dreamer?
At the eye of the world.
Oh, really now?
Tomorrow, when you sentence me, it must be exile.
Why?
Maigen's ordered me to stay in the tower.
This is kind of weird. That they have a relationship in the first place is new to me. But that Moiraine is the dominant one as well.
Can he ride?
Matt Cawthon. Is that his name, yes? Same boy you visited with the Light's Blessing yesterday.
Go away, Liandrin.
I'm sure the Amyrlin would love to understand that connection.
I know about the man you meet in North Harbor. Walk away. Never mention this again.
Oh? What's this now?
Your name sings in my ears, Moiraine Sedai.
Thank you for coming. You must forgive the abruptness.
I love the sounds of his footsteps.
But the Wheel has presented us with a crisis, and at the same time, perhaps A way to surmount it.
Ah! I caught that. If you know, you know.
The Amyrlin seat has requested an audience with you.
That's not how that works. I don't think.
How can you call yourself a leader?
Nynaeve.
Oh, right, yeah, Egwene thought she was dead. As does Perrin. He hasn't been filled in on the news yet.
The Amyrlin's expecting us.
Let her wait.
Swan Sanche waits for only one woman. And it's not you.
No, it's you. Which is very weird. Sex was never really a big part of the books, you know? And they're very good friends. They're best friends, basically. Swan and Moiraine. But... partners?
These are your two, Moiraine.
Oh, Egwene.
Am I not what you expected?
No, they don't know how to behave.
You've seen in 1,000 years. Nynaeve Almira.
What? Her? Egwene was very surprised. Thought you were talking about me. What's this now?
Now that you've blown smoke up our ass, why don't you tell us what you want?
There you go. She's gonna appreciate that. Very straightforward. Let's get to the point. And this woman is used to having kings kiss her ass.
I wonder why you couldn't just stay at home, weaving in and out of the pattern without consequence.
Yeah, the wheel weaves as the wheel wills.
We want no part of this.
You don't walk away from me.
The wheel calls you to this, whether you can bear it or not.
So what do we need to do?
Egwene is on board at least.
I'll stand in the hall with you if you want.
I'll be all right.
Yes, time for the public punishment.
Just make sure they're there.
Yes, kiss the ring.
You are exiled from this town.
Yeah.
Swear to obey the judgment of the Amyrlin seat and never return till she calls me home.
Very important detail there. Till she calls me home.
Do swear to honor and obey Swan Sanche.
That's not what she said.
Strong as the tides.
This is not good, right? You're I don't. You're being very obvious about this, guys. I mean, there's other people here watching this and listening to this.
Now turn and face your sisters. And leave this tower.
Yeah, they have to turn away from her now. Very symbolic. Yeah, time to go. We have work to do. Let's see where Lan is. And I'm assuming that she meant for him to, that he was supposed to gather our people, including Loyal, because Moiraine wanted to meet with him. I kind of don't understand why that was a big deal, why she was like crying and stuff, because as she swore in the oath until Swan calls her home. She could do that tomorrow, technically. You know, it's just like an excuse.
Are you alone?
Here's the others. And where's Lan? And 3 more. There they are. We have gathered. Oh, reunited.
You look like shit.
Oh, Matt is back.
At least I wasn't stupid enough to steal an evil dagger.
No, that was exceedingly stupid.
There will be time for every story as we travel.
Not that much time, though.
But none of us will follow you blindly. Not without answers to our questions.
Well, it's kind of pointless asking her questions.
And what's there? At the Eye?
The Dark One's prison, where he was trapped
No.
by the last dragon at the cost of almost everything.
Maybe you think that. No.
Let me speak clearly.
Really?
If we do not stop the Dark One now while he is still weak, the whole world will turn to darkness.
And what about whoever's not the dragon? What happens to them?
Oh, come on. This is just season 1. You're being overly dramatic at the moment. Yeah, show it to me. Come on, show me.
Is it too late to change my mind?
Yes. Get to walking, dude.
Whatever happens now is beyond our control. The wheel weaves as the wheel wills.
Yes, indeed. But if you have 5 Taveran with you, then there's a good amount of nudging you're able to do.
Man! What are you doing? Come on!
Get a move on, dude. Ah, you ass. Okay, so that was episode 6. Oh man, freaking Matt. Always has to be such a contrarian. Oh yeah, I like this. I mean, there's a lot of changes. One big thing that I think is worth mentioning, it's a big departure from the books. Again, I'm fine with it. But again, like, what's it gonna mean for the story? Because the ways, which we've just entered, doesn't require the one power to open them. It doesn't. Moiraine shouldn't be the one who did that. Should have been Loyal. And having it this way, where you need to use the power, the one power, in order to open the gates, that changes things pretty big. Or not that big, but like everything has a ripple effect, you know. Okay, let's see, what else should we mention? Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that are going to have ripple effects, like the dagger and Matt, and because his distrust of Aes Sedai and dislike of them, like, I don't know what this means, because Moiraine healed him here from the dagger. I don't know where the dagger has gone to, or if it's going to re-enter, but that's not. It was a much bigger deal in the book. What happened with that? So again, like, it's these things that I don't know what the ripple effects are going to be. I know they will have to cut out a lot in order to fit this into like 8 or 9 seasons or something. I just hope that the main things that I want, that like my favorite stuff, will still be in the series, you know, because it's going to be a bit like a greatest hits of the books, this show, since they're not able to do all of it. And I hope that what they picked as the greatest hits is going to coincide with what I think are the greatest hits. And I'm sure there's also like practical considerations, like they're taking practical solutions into account when making this as well. Like, what can we do? For instance, I really like anime or like comic books. These are mediums where you can completely disregard what you can get an actor to do, you know, or what you need, like what's going to be prohibitively expensive to do in regular filmmaking. When you're dealing with anime, you don't really need to concern yourself with that. You know, sure, it's going to increase the budget to like animate great motion, and like, yeah, you can tell when an anime has a big budget and it's worked on for a long time, or like for anime movies that have a very different budget and production schedule. So it's very like, but still you have a lot more freedom in that medium. There are things you can do that are basically impossible to do in live action. Anyways, let's talk world. I was really, really surprised that the relationship between Swan and Moiraine, that really threw me for a loop. The relationship in itself is, I have no issue with that. That Moiraine is the dominant one, that's a bit, that I didn't see that coming. That feels weird. Like being the dominant one when they play, yeah, sure, that's completely reasonable because Swan is so used to being in charge, so that when she's during playtime, she might be more inclined to be very submissive. That makes tons of sense. But like in the relationship overall, and also just the fact that that Moiraine is in a relationship whatsoever, or Swan. It's just weird because they're so consumed with their missions. Like, I didn't think there was room for anything else in their lives. Maybe you need to spice it up for TV or something. I don't know. I mean, they are contending with, like Game of Thrones has set the bar like that with how much like sex and stuff is supposed to be in TV in general, I guess, but especially in stuff like this. And if they're courting those fans, then I mean, you need to have some racy stuff in it, I guess. But that brings me to something else, the Ajas. Let's just first mention Ta'veren, because they mentioned that at like the start. And something that's a common thread, pun intended, I guess, in this world is the pattern. The wheel weaves the pattern, which is reality. And as Moiraine says, the wheel weaves as the wheel wills, you know? Like people have destinies and so on. There's a lot of Buddhist imagery as well with rebirth and like time being circular. But the common theme is essentially that people, like you have a destiny. Each life is a thread and the wheel weaves it into the pattern. Most people don't have a whole lot of influence over their lives, like, which is true for our world as well. Like, you're a product of your environment very much. But Ta'veren are special. They're a bit. They are people who can influence the weaving of the wheel, in a bit at least. Like how strongly Ta'veren you are as well means that you have more influence, like great leaders, for instance. For an example, like Alexander the Great, he would have been a strong Ta'veren in that he influenced the world greatly. And we know that like at least 4 of them, but probably 5 of them, all 5 from Emond's Field, are Ta'veren. In essence, they're destined for greatness. Like, I bring this up because I don't think they're gonna go in, like, explain that really. They've explained a bit of it, that like the pattern, the wheel, weaving and so on, like how this world works, and the fact that these people are Ta'veren, we know that. And I mean, the fact that they're the heroes of the story, like we know this, you know? We know they're going to have a lot of influence on the world because they're the main characters, you know? So I don't think they feel the need to explain this aspect. But anyways, back to Moiraine and Swan and the Ajas, because I think that's worth mentioning. That's what feels so weird about their relationship, is the fact that they're both blue. I mean, the Swan is no longer blue, she's all Ajas, because she's the Amyrlin. She's not like one or the other, she's everyone. And the different Ajas have like different areas they focus on, shall we say. Like the Reds, for instance. The Reds focus very, very heavily on finding men who can channel and dealing with them, you know? Let's see if I can even remember them all, actually. So that's the Red. The Blues, which are the very big one because Moiraine, they're very much focused on like missions and like great quests that will benefit the world in some way. Like, for instance, Moiraine and her search for the dragon. Because that's obviously going to be very important, because you need the dragon in order to fight against the Dark One at the last battle. And prevent the wheel from breaking. That seems very, very important. And then you have the Browns, they're knowledge seekers. Like, this informs a lot of their like personalities, what Aja and Aes Sedai chooses. So the Browns, they're knowledge seekers, and that's how they look to like help the world by unearthing and protecting knowledge that might help at some point. And then you have the Whites. The Whites are how do we put this? They really like logic and philosophy. They very much like thinking. They're very cold and dispassionate. We have the Greys. The Greys are mediators, diplomats, basically. When that's how they help the world. They help the world by going around and like getting people to agree to stuff. Maybe preventing war between two countries by acting as mediator in the conflict. And who are left? The Green, of course, the Battle Aja. And their focus is like becoming the strongest soldiers in the fight against the darkness. The Dark One and his forces. And then we have the Yellows, who want to help the world by healing people, or like healing sickness and everything that comes with that. And those are the 7 Aja, and I'm kind of impressed that I remember them all. It was a little silly, I think, that they were like color coordinated in the hall of the tower. Yeah, that was a little silly, but I don't mind. It's a very easy way to visually know who is who, because like in the books they have these like shawls that have fringes that are the color of their Aja. That's how you tell them apart which Aja each sister belongs to. Here, their like whole outfit was colored according to their Aja, and yeah, I mean it's a way easier way, because like fringe on a shawl, that might be very hard to see at a glance. And I think that's something that a lot of people, there's been a lot of criticism of this, of course. And I mean, some of it is deserved, I guess, but most of it I feel most of it is people who don't really understand how TV works, how like visual storytelling works. It's one thing, like in a book, it's a very different medium. Here, for instance, we don't have 4 hours to start to explore the politics of the White Tower and how the different Ajas interact and how, like, what defines them and, like, how to identify them and, like, stuff needs to be easily understandable just by looking at it, and then you understand what's going on. Because the maxim is always in storytelling, in visual storytelling, is show, don't tell. And sometimes you get like huge exposition dumps where people are just telling you tons of information to get stuff across because they couldn't think of a better way to do it. Like a good example here might be the episode where we saw Logain in Ghealdan, where he was like conquering the castle. That could have easily been done with just exposition, just someone telling us that this happened. But instead, they chose to show us what happened. I don't know. I'm still a fan of this. I have question marks. I have things, like everything I complain about, is not so much that, I wish they did it a different way. It's more, I don't know what the effects of this are going to be down the line. Like, it might feel a bit sometimes like they're taking a shortcut now that's going to cause them problems down the road, like a couple of seasons down the road. But at the same time, if they didn't take those shortcuts and go about it in a more roundabout way, then they might not have the chance to make those seasons down the line, so it wouldn't have mattered in that case. But yeah, that's my main issue with this show so far. It feels like with a good amount of things, they are kicking the can down the road. Like, that's a problem for future us. So it's not something we have to deal with now. And that worries me. They might still do a great job of bringing it all together and making something fantastic out of it. I'm just worried. I have such high hopes, and I hope the show is going to live up to those, So, we'll see. But that is for a different day. For today, I'm done, and I thank you very much for joining me. I hope to see you in the next video. But until then, do take care of yourselves, and peace out.